I woke up to the news that I'm being let go from my position at Vice magazine. And this comes after years of dedicating my life to writing articles like A Woman's Guide to Tucking in Your Yes, there are animals. Why some men choose to remove their The Kimoji app doesn't work for Grindr. And then I find out via email that I'm being let go because my articles aren't generating revenue. Hi, New York Times, Mark Diamond here. Just calling to see if you got a chance to check out my resume. Yes, no, I know you told me to stop calling, but I had an idea for a new article about canceling the Easter Bunny. And your boyfriend's racist if he won't sit on them. Lesbians should become men because most of them don't even have to change anything. My boomer dad isn't even gay. You know, journalism is supposed to be about normalizing weird removing people's accountability, and most importantly, writing the same article over and over again. Why? Don't hang up, I have another one too. The trading floor needs to accept that is not a choice. I honestly don't even know what I'm gonna do without my $12,000 a year base salary.
Oh no, those poor flip-flop wearing yuppie hipsters, where will they be able to afford their next Starbies? I don't know, because I don't know who would ever want to hire them ever again. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Zukardowski here of wearechange.org, and we got a lot of absolutely wild and strange news to get into today, as of course things are absolutely unfair, especially when you look at the larger geopolitical picture of American foreign policy that definitely is in question today. After a major surprise in Moscow where there were two major explosions, there's a lot of other financial news to get into, specifically inside of the United States. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com, and the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is done by the extremely talented Ryan Long. We only played you a small clip of his latest video highlighting the troubles of Vice News reporters, if you could even call them that, who are going to be out of a job soon, as the New York Times is reporting that Vice News is going to be declaring bankruptcy soon. Ryan Long's characterization of the writers and their future job hunts is absolutely brilliant and very funny. We really like Ryan Long, and that's why we're going to be putting down his YouTube channel down in our description below so you can subscribe to him and check him out. He truly does very masterful work that deserves a lot more follows. So yeah, definitely don't forget to check him out. This, as we're still waiting for his latest Bud Light skit, which we know he's probably brewing up right now. This, as of course the major beer company now is offering free cases of beer to every wholesale employee, mainly because they have a lot of extra beers. Why do they have a lot of extra beers? Well, sales tumbled nearly 26% over a major anti-establishment backlash and boycott of the company, as Bud Light is at risk of losing its #1 top-selling beer status in the United States, as a lot of videos are going around specifically highlighting Anheuser-Busch products that no one is really buying. They're buying a lot of their competitors, but for some reason, when it comes to Busch Light, when it comes to the many beer companies that Anheuser-Busch owns, people are just not interested. Who would have thought fifth generational warfare wasn't profitable for major corporations? This, as of course, it's not just Bud Light in trouble, but major regional banks that, of course, also have plunged in value nearly 45%. This, as the First Republic Bank was just seized and sold to JP Morgan and Chase with the help of the U.S. federal government, all as JP Morgan and Chase is also going through litigation, being accused in court of helping run an international trafficking operation for many decades, with, of course, one of their most beloved customers, Mr. Epstein, that they're getting in some very hot water over. Again, lots of details here that we can't talk about here with the general public. We talked about it on yesterday's video on LukeUnfiltered.com. But don't worry, as major American corporations and banks are all on the decline in the United States, the New York government has a solution for you, and they're banning and regulating more of your life, as New York has just become the first state in the United States to ban the use of natural gas in new buildings, passing again more draconian nanny state Karen style legislation that punishes individuals, especially a lot of immigrants who rely on gas stoves and gas cooking, as of course the Democrats want you on the grid in order so they could better control you. And that's one thing to look out for that we call out specifically on LukeUnfiltered.com, our own website where we curate and highlight the most important amount of information for you, so you make the best decisions for your life. We have a lot of amazing members a part of this platform. You get to interact, you get to talk to these members, as well as have the opportunities to have in real life meetups. And if you are a member, you can now enter into our contest sweepstakes giveaway on FloridaManTrip.com. Yes, that's an official website. FloridaManTrip.com is the website. Click on it right now and enter the sweepstakes that will allow you to get a free flight, free hotel stay, lunch and dinner with the We Are Change staff and team, and a 4-hour tactical self-defense training with me personally and my close friends here in Florida. An amazing opportunity, an experience of a lifetime that one lucky person who enters the contest will get. To enter the contest, you just have to be a member of LukeUnfiltered.com. Fill out the form, and you have been entered in the experience of a lifetime. It's going to be really fun, really awesome, and I look forward towards hanging out with someone, whoever the lucky winner may be. And these are one perks out of many perks that are available to you by signing up to LukeUnfiltered.com. We also have masterclasses, t-shirts, you name it, we got it. Giveaways, we do a lot of really fun, incredible things. To be a part of it and to be a part of all the other incredible human beings a part of this larger project, sign up right now. It's quick, it's easy on LukeUnfiltered.com. Just click the button and I will see you there right after this broadcast. And with the way things are going geopolitically, I think it's more imperative than ever to know what's really going on. This, as we got new shocking images coming from Moscow, Russia, showing 2 drone attacks specifically on the Kremlin to what now the Russian government is calling an overt attack and assassination attempt on the Russian President Vladimir Putin. As of course, these 2 unmanned missile drone strikes on the Capitol, on the Kremlin, reportedly being an assassination attempt on their president, is a major big deal for many reasons. This, as Russian officials have now come out and said that Putin was not injured during this attack and that these drones were, quote, shot down. The Kremlin has just said that it reserves the right to retaliate according to this attack, and it most likely will do so with a further escalation in Ukraine that is definitely going to be very drastic and very dangerous, not just for the people of Ukraine, not just for the people of Russia, not just for the people in Europe, but for the people of the world, as of course Russia is a nuclear power. And if this was a legitimate attempt to try to take out the president of Russia, just as the New York Post is reporting that this is a foiled Putin assassination attempt, I think it's time that we ask ourselves, what in the world is happening here? As of course, Vladimir Putin is someone that the Western media is calling unstable, unwell, and very sick. A man that, by the way, has more nuclear weapons than the United States. Why would you try to assassinate him when, one, by doing so, you piss off someone that you're characterizing as already very volatile and very dangerous? 2, even if you're successful, who is going to be taken over the positions of power if Putin goes down? And when you look at the current political sphere in Russia right now, who would take over? Well, from all estimates and everything that we're saying personally online, probably someone who's more of a hawk, probably someone who is more dangerous, probably someone that is more unpredictable, probably someone that the Russian people would fully support if this assassination was technically successful, to even be more aggressive, to even escalate things even further from here. And again, all around, this was an extremely stupid, naive, absolutely absurd move, but we have to ask ourselves who is responsible here, as of course Ukrainian officials are saying that it was not them, and Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, says that Ukraine did not attack Russia or Moscow. All of this, as of course just a couple days ago, the United States admittedly had to stop the Ukrainian military from launching an all-out attack on Moscow. This, as of course, it's also important to note here that a Ukrainian missile did fly into Poland, kill Polish citizens, which the government of Ukraine, including Volodymyr Zelensky, automatically said was a Russian attack when they knew it wasn't. It was a Ukrainian missile, which Ukraine tried to capitalize on in the moments of and automatically blame and try to invoke a NATO clause that would create an entire world war. So is Ukraine telling the truth here? Who knows? They have a history about lying about these particular events. I mean, so does the Russian government, so does the Russian military. As of course, some people are saying that this could be a false flag. And when it comes to war, we cannot excuse the possibilities of this potentially even being true. Now, I think it's important to kind of highlight and talk about these issues from many kind of hypotheticals, specifically being, if this was a Russian false flag, what would be the benefit? Would this be a larger excuse for a larger escalation here? Well, it's also important to note here that Russia already has a lot of room for potential escalation here, especially with the Nord Stream pipeline attack, the attack on the Crimea Bridge, and all the other attacks that have been happening within Russian territory by the Ukrainians that are only escalating from here. So did Russia need to do this event in order to justify a further escalation? No. So what's really going on here? Well, who in the world knows, as of course the first casualty of war is the truth. But from everything we are seeing, without any smoking gun evidence, it is fair to say that this was most likely a legitimate assassination attempt on the president of Russia. But when more facts come in, when more details come in, we'll be able to confirm that later down the line. As of course, all we are left here with now is just speculation. But it's important to note here that major fuel depots, ammo depots, major pieces of infrastructure, a part of the Russian war machine, have been specifically targeted within Russia. And there have been numerous sabotage attacks and even assassinations of major Russian figures within the Russian country. And whether it's freight trains being derailed, infrastructure being attacked, I think it's fair to say that this conflict is reaching a boiling point that is extremely dangerous, even though the majority of the fighting is happening in Bakhmut in a World War I style trench warfare that is absolutely torturous and, as many people described, hell on earth. Now, the Western media likes to tell you that Ukraine is winning, that they're this close towards just annihilating all of Russia, while, of course, the Russian media tells you the exact opposite, and that Ukraine is losing and they're very close towards collapsing. Who's telling the truth here? Well, again, that all depends on your political perspective, what news you get. But I think it's fair to say, from looking at the numbers, from looking at the footage, from trying to get information from both sides, that this is a brutal war that has now become a war of attrition that is absolutely horrendous, horrible, and a lot of very innocent people are losing their lives, losing their land, losing their property. And today marked another significant escalation of that conflict that is going to be very dangerous for the people of the world. Who did it? Why did they do it? Was it a false flag? Was it not a false flag? All those questions will be answered soon, but Russia is scaling back their Victory Day celebrations, and I think it's fair to say that they definitely will be responding to this. And with today's events, the prospects of peace, the prospects of de-escalation have definitely been lowered, and they're only going to be continued to be lowered from here. As of course, now we could expect Putin to become more paranoid, more aggressive, and sadly, more lives will be lost here in the next upcoming days. But hey, the U.S. military is now hiring a drag queen in order to be the driving face of their recruitment. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, I mean, they could probably fight, but I think it's fair to say that with the United States fully backing Ukraine, giving them all their weapons, giving all the latest surveillance technology from the satellites, helping coordinate launching some of these attacks, it's even important to ask here, was the United States involved in this larger attack? And it wouldn't surprise me if they were, as of course they have been playing a key integral role when it comes to prolonging this conflict and giving the Ukrainians just enough of support to continue this conflict and not to win it. As I've been saying for a very long time, this war is meant to be prolonged, not to be won. And the longer it goes on, the more innocent people lose their lives, lose their livelihoods, lose their property, lose their land. The more larger institutions like the military-industrial complex, BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, and others win. And this is why I've been calling for de-escalations. And if you agree, share this video with your friends and family members. It is more imperative than ever. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actively watching and supporting me, and this is why. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org. One more video coming your way right now on lukeunfiltered.com. See you there.